And yes, you're right. You can't talk about homecoming without the football team. And it has been quite an emotional roller coaster for fans this year, but with a lot of ups. Let's take a look back on the season so far. Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide kicked off the 2014 season in Atlanta, taking on West Virginia University. The Tide rolled to a 10-point win over the Mountaineers with over 500 total yards on offense. Then it was back to Tuscaloosa to get the home crowd ready for the year to come. Amari Cooper showing why he's a front runner for the Heisman with 189 yards receiving on the day. Junior running back Kenyon Drake also off to a hot start as he adds in a pair of touchdowns. The Tide dominating Florida Atlantic University in a shutout win, 41-0. Second game of the three-game home stretch wouldn't disappoint. 5 different Bama players finding the end zone, Kenyon Drake finding it 3 times en route to a 52-14 win over Southern Mississippi. Time to open up SEC play, and what better way than a bomb pass from Blake Sims to Kenyon Drake, 87 yards to get Bama out to the early lead on Florida. And the crowd wanting more of that. How about a 79-yard touchdown pass from Sims to Amari Cooper? Coop with 3 touchdowns as Alabama tops Florida 42-21. Following a bye week, the then-ranked #1 Tide took to the road to play #11 Ole Miss. Alabama would build a 14-3 lead, but would later watch it deteriorate in front of a sold-out crowd in Oxford.
Field 30. He gets turned around, fumbles the ball, loose again. I believe Ole Miss will cover it.
Bo Wallace leading the Rebels to victory. Alabama sent home looking for answers.
Over the Alabama DBs.
It wouldn't take long for the Tide to get their swagger back. Next week on the road in Fayetteville. TJ Yeldon outstretches his arms to get the Tide on the board first.
Touchdown Alabama! Touchdown Alabama!
And then second quarter, the Tide special teams blocking an Arkansas extra point. The Tide down 6 in the fourth quarter. Sims to DeAndrew White seals a 14-13 win.
Touchdown Alabama!
Then the floodgates at Bryant-Denny Stadium would open. The Tide raining touchdowns over Texas A&M. Quarterback Blake Sims throwing for 3 touchdowns and running for 1. 602 total yards on offense as Alabama trounces the Aggies 59-0. Time for Lane Kiffin's return to Knoxville. The Tide's offensive coordinator wastes no time as he dials up a touchdown on the first offensive play for Alabama. Sims to Cooper for an 80-yard score. And the scoring wouldn't end there. The Tide put up 27 unanswered points in the first 20 minutes of the game, winning a final of 34-20. Now the return of Nick Saban to Death Valley, a nail-biter. Adam Griffith's 27-yard field goal sends this one to overtime. Blake Sims hits DeAndrew White on a 6-yard pass to give the Tide a 7-point advantage, leaving this one up to LSU's final drive.
He loads up, he floats one towards the end zone, pushing and shoving, knocked away by Alabama. The Crimson Tide wins! The Crimson Tide wins!
Back to Tuscaloosa to welcome in #1 ranked Mississippi State. Alabama's defense setting the tone early. A safety to start the game, and then shutting down potential Heisman candidate Dak Prescott. 3 interceptions for the Tide defense. Alabama's offense taking care of business. Cooper, Derrick Henry, and TJ Yeldon finding the end zone as Bama silences the Cowbells 25-20. The Tide heads down the home stretch in control of their own destiny. Now, of course, today the Tide have Western Carolina, and then next week, the game that divides some families in the state of Alabama, the Iron Bowl. That game is set for kickoff 6:45 on ESPN. Reporting from WVUA, Jen Chapman will be right back after this.